Okay, we're going to make some shortcrust pastry here. I know you can buy the ready to roll, and it's easy because you just purchase it in the store. But I just wanted to show you how easy it is to actually make it by hand. So I'm going to run through the ingredients with you. First of all, you'll need a bowl, and I've got a sieve there because I like to sieve my flour. You'll need some plain flour. I've got 12 ounces here, which is I think 330 grams. I've got a mixture of lard and butter. That's 3 ounces of each, or 75 grams each. You can replace the lard with vegetable fat, which I think comes in a block, and that's absolutely fine. But for my recipe, it's traditional, and I'm using lard. And this is so easy, honestly, you'll just go, why didn't I try this before? You'll need an egg, you'll need some water, and a pinch of salt. So let's get started. So I've sieved the plain flour into the bowl, and I'm just going to add a pinch of salt. Okay, and a bit for luck. Make a well in the middle, like so, and you add your fat. This is cold and it's cubed. Add it all there. Bit of both. Bit of both. And then I'm just going to toss that in the flour, and using only your fingertips, and I hope this shows up, we're going to lift and rub. Okay? Don't use the entire part of your hand. You're rubbing it. Now this recipe is for a pie, a savoury pie. It's slightly different if you're wanting to make it for a sweet filling, because I actually add icing sugar, and that's totally different. So this is for a savoury pie with a lid and a base. If you're wanting to make it maybe like a quiche or a tart, you know, egg and bacon quiche or whatever, I would half the mixture. This is for a lid and a base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue rubbing through the fat, the salt and the flour until it becomes kind of like breadcrumbs. And at that stage, you're ready for the next. So I'm going to do this off camera, but as you can see, you can get the hint. I'm picking up the fat and I'm rubbing it through into the flour. It takes, I would say, I don't know, 5 minutes at most. I mean, you can use a food processor, but not everybody has one, and I just want to show you how to do it by hand, because a lot of my baking that I do at home is by hand, and it is best, I'll be honest. Getting stuck in, and it's great with the kids, you can have them help, get them involved, because I do believe that it's a dying hobby of, you know, baking on a Sunday with the family. And I still do it every now and then, and I'm guilty of not doing it as often as I should. So I'm going to continue rubbing this through until it's all the fat is incorporated and becomes a crumbly, floury texture. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, I've crumbled it and it's changed colour. It's slightly more golden, and it's now a crumbly texture, like so, like this. Okay, so I'm going to make a well in the centre, and I'm going to add cold water. As I've said before, it's really important that everything's cool when you're making pastry, and I use a glass bowl because it holds its temperature and keeps relatively cold during the rubbing process. So I'm going to add, to start with, a tablespoon of cold water, and with a knife, not your fingers, we're going to, with a figure of 8, Do you remember this at school? We're going to cut through the pastry like so, and it's just incorporating that water because you don't want it too wet, and using the knife stops the dough from gripping your fingers and making it difficult. And the knife's cold as well, so that's good. Now I've done that. I still think it needs more. It'll start to come together as you get to the right consistency, but at the moment it's still rather dry. But I always add a little bit at a time. Another tablespoon, and maybe a little bit for luck, and we start that process again by turning the ball figure of 8 with your knife, and we're snapping it through the flour, keeping all the ingredients in the bowl cold. Cold butter, cold lard, only using your fingertips to rub, not the whole of the hand, so it doesn't warm up too much. And obviously the knife is cold in comparison to your fingers. So, and again, a little bit more before I bring it all together. I'm going to do another bit for luck. One more, I think. Just going through with the knife like so, starting to get a little more doughy like that. I think if you're making just half the ingredients, you'll need less water. That's why I say start with 1 tablespoon and work up. I'm just going to feel the texture now. A little touch more. That should do me. That should cock-a-doodle do me. I'm not fast forwarding this because you're going to see it live. I don't do retakes and edit and redo it because I'm baking this pie for the family, so I won't be making a second batch of pastry if I make a mistake. Not a chance. So there we go. So I'm ready now to take that out. So putting my hand in and I'm bringing the pastry together. Okay, I hope this is showing up, and it should clean the bowl. That's the idea. Should be able to clean the bowl as such. Yeah, kind of. So I'll move that out of the way. I'm going to get a little bit of flour, touch of flour, like so. Not too much right now. And I'm just going to give it a very gentle knead. Very gentle. Not too much kneading at this stage, but it's just bringing it together. Okay, a light knead, like so. And then what I do at this stage, as I get it into a ball, and I get some cling film, and I will refrigerate this for at least 30 to 40 minutes. And, excuse me, you need it cold. You need this pastry cold. It works better, and it will come out very, very short and crispy, which is what you're looking for. You're not wanting soggy pastry. And the colder the pastry is, the better it will react in the oven. So I'm going to put that in the fridge for about 30 to 40 minutes, and that's basically how you make shortcrust pastry. If you want to stick around, you can watch me roll it and make the pie. But thanks for watching if you don't want to watch any further. But that's basically shortcrust pastry done. Boom. Okay, so what I've done is I've rolled out the base. Now I've rolled it relatively thin because it needs to be, because I don't blind bake. This all goes in, one pie goes into the oven, so you don't want it too thick because you want it to cook properly and not be soggy. All I do now is I get a fork and I pinprick all around the base, and then again all the way around the side. not going all the way through as such. And this will allow the steam and the heat to cook through, and it won't push the pastry up, because sometimes if you don't, it'll push the pastry upwards, and you don't want that. You don't want it to move anywhere. And it also cooks the filling, because the steam will come through, and if it is an uncooked filling, it'll cook the filling as well, the steam. But this pie is actually corned beef and potato, and it's already cooked in advance. I've let it cool. I've mashed the corned beef and the potato together, and then I start adding the filling. Now make sure the filling is cold. Everything still has to be cold. So I'm adding my filling like this, and I'm never shy with my pies. I always have a lot of filling. Well, it's not a pie without a filling. Come on, who wants to just eat pastry? I mean, yeah, it's nice, but you know. So I get every little scrap out, waste not, want not, and I pop that in, and then you smooth it down, and pushing the filling evenly in to the pie. Again, I use my infamous palette knife, but you can use a spoon, back of the spoon. I'm just making sure that it's evenly distributed in the pie so that everyone gets the same depth of pie filling. And I'm going to continue this off camera, and I'm going to show you how to place on the lid. I'll be right back. So I've rolled out my pastry, and I'm ready to put the lid on. But before I do, I'm going to hold this so you can see, hopefully. With the beaten egg, we're just going to brush on the glue that attaches the lid to the base, like that. Okay, very simple. And then using a roller pin, bringing this over, we're going to attach where we can, like so. And then, I don't know if I bring this in, I'm just going to smooth with my hand all the way around, then moving it in a circular motion to make sure that it's adhered. And then with a knife, I hope this is in view, lifting it up, we're going to cut around the pie, turning as we go. I will link below a tutorial on how I made this corned beef pie without showing you how to make the pastry, and it's just how to make a lattice pastry topping, and it's quite creative. You know, if you're doing it for Christmas or special occasions, it makes a lattice around, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to use the crimp. So just going to crimp the sides using your finger and your thumb. I'm just going round just to crimp the sides like so. It's just keeping them both together, really, keeping the base together like so. And go around. Oh dear, it's just keeping it together. You can put patterns on, anything you want. You can use a fork to put both sides together and crimp them. It's entirely up to you. And in the centre, allowing a vent, a couple of slashes with a knife just to allow the steam to get out. And then with your egg wash, going all the way around the edges at first, having a preheated oven, 200 degrees or 180 if it's fan assisted, and I think that's gas mark 6. And pop it in the oven for about, well, it's until it's golden brown, golden in colour, so it's between 30 and 40 minutes. You're just going to have to play it by ear. Everybody's oven is, you know, different. Some are efficient, some aren't, but you're wanting it a nice golden colour, and that goes in the oven like so, and I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. I'll be right back. Okay, it's out of the oven and it's been in for about 40 minutes actually, but it's piping hot. It's a great recipe here for people who are maybe on a low budget, or students for example. But yeah, that's my short crust pastry made into a hearty corned beef and potato pie. I will have new tutorials coming soon. I think I'm going to make some scones. I think in America they call them biscuits. Maybe I've got that wrong. But thanks for watching, and we'll speak soon. Bye.